Good morning. Okay, so I have been flooded with phone calls and texts and emails and questions, um, just leading with fear and panic and uncertainty. And, so questions: should I terminate my offer and stockpile my cash right now? Are sellers not going to list their homes? Are sellers going to stop listing their homes? Um, how are tenants panicking? Everyone wants to know what does my tenant do for a living? How do I insulate myself from this nuclear fallout? I'm getting how are we going to close? How are we going to close real estate transaction and practice social distancing? How bad is everything going to get? That's basically everyone's like, how bad is this going to get? How much is this going to hurt? Our price is tanking. Are buyers afraid to go into homes? Should I just not list my house and sell it? Am I feeling healthy? Everyone wants to know how I'm feeling. So those are this world of fear and panic and concern about our money and our investments primarily. Those are the questions to me that are being asked to me. And so here's my answer, and I wanted to record this video so that I could have the conversation once and not 500 times, selfishly. But also I just wanted to speak to as many people as possible because my short answer to all of these questions is opportunity abounds right now. There is so much opportunity for us to share our strength and to share our knowledge of the things that we do know and to practice those pieces. I just touched my face. Practice those pieces every day. And the other thing I know two things. I know that right now opportunity abounds and everybody needs our strength and our knowledge and our skill sets, whatever they are. We need to apply them. And I know that kindness always wins, right? Kindness always wins. So how does this apply to real estate? How do those two things that I know apply to real estate? And how do I answer these questions that people keep asking me? So first of all, yes, I feel healthy. I feel strong. My children feel healthy and they feel strong. My family, my father, everyone I know feels very healthy and strong. We're continuing to work out. We continue to hydrate. I do drink a little more coffee than I should. We're eating healthy. We're cooking meals at home. We're doing a lot of great things as our family, and I can't suggest that more to people. I'm seeing a ton of people out in properly socially distanced at the parks, just getting fresh air, moving, doing good things. So I think we all need to do more of that, in my opinion. It provides a sense of calm and a sense of well-being. Once we feel good here, we can share it out there in socially distanced, appropriate manners. So also, again, there's so much information out there, but I do have a sister who lives in Pakistan, and she assures me that medically this is not the hysteria that people are making it out to be. So, and I'm not making statement as to whether I believe that we should social distance or not. What I believe is we have to follow the laws. We live in civilization, and a civilization who affords me a whole lot of creature comforts and luxury is asking me to give this back. I might not personally like it, but it's my duty, and that's fine. I'll do it, and quite frankly, we're having a great time. So I just want to eliminate fear, right? So I'm feeling great. We're all feeling great. I'm also, like I mentioned quickly, I'm going to obey all the laws. So whatever the law requires of me, that's the first thing that I'm going to do because, again, I'm a citizen of a very impressive country. So whether or not I agree with those in charge, I don't want their job, and I'm not going to try and do it for them. And then I'm going to practice common sense. So on top of whatever the law tells me, and probably more importantly, I'm going to practice common sense. Wash our hands, stop handshaking, just be smart, be aware, be wise, okay? What else I know, the other thing that I know about me specifically is that I thrive in chaos. So I suffer well. I take a beating very well if you know me. I enjoy endurance mud run events that are painful and brutal, and I handle things that are uncomfortable really well. So this doesn't hurt me that much, and I also am really comfortable with delayed gratification. I don't need my money the minute I make it. I don't mind to continue to work over and over when I know the payout's going to be really good in the long run, even if the immediate return is minimal, loss, painful, uncomfortable. I have spent a lifetime learning how to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, and so that affords me a lot of latitude in situations like this. And I train my children. I train the girls that I coach in volleyball to, I tell them all the time, ladies, we need to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. It's okay to feel some pain, right? It's okay. And the same thing applies to everything that we do in life, including this current real estate market, including this current social crisis. You know, I feel for my bar owners, I really truly do. I feel for my restaurant owner friends. I feel for my friends who own airline companies. You know, like, it sucks. It sucks right now to have your business just stripped from you. So where do we find opportunity in the time that we now have ourselves? And the needs, people have new needs today. So how do we identify them and fill them? And we have a special skill set, depending on where we've come from in our lives, depending on what we do every day, to fill the needs of our new today. So that's kind of where my head and my heart's at, right? That's where my head and my heart's at. So does my workday look exactly the same? Am I showing the same number of sellers' houses, buyers' houses? Am I listing the same? No. Am I busier than I have been? Yeah. Am I making great money? I think at the end of this, I'll have made more money than I ever have in my lifetime. And I am more than happy to bring everybody with me. And I think I'm coming back to, there's so much opportunity. And if we lead with kindness, you know, I listen to what people need and I find a way to give it to them. And I feel like if we all do that, instead of panicking about what we're not going to have in the next 10 days or 30 days, let's listen to what we need to have and figure out how to give that to everybody else. And then what we need will come to us. I made notes because I just wanted to stay on task here. So one of the skill sets I have is when problems present themselves, I'm very good at stripping the emotionality from the problem and identifying what the actual problem is and matching it with a solution. So not really being worried about how uncomfortable that process is going to be. It's just a process that we will get through. And at the end of it, our problem will be solved. So it's a response cost, we'll pay it, and then we're done. So let's identify the true problems and seek some solutions, right? So our price is tanking. No, not yet, they aren't. Now, is that going to be different in 4 weeks? I don't know. We'll worry about that in 4 weeks. Right now, what I know is I had a buyer call me on a Friday night, $900,000 listing, went on the market Friday. That's a big number in Cincinnati. We scheduled to see it Saturday at 10 o'clock in the morning, and it had already sold over list price. Buyers are still out, and they're still paying, right? They're still shopping. I'm talking to all of my realtor friends. Everything that we're listing is still having 3 and 4 and 5 offers on it. Interest rates are historically low. Inventory is historically low. Yes, there is fear and panic about the uncertainty, but do we really feel like this world is going to become Mad Max in the next 6 months? Like, meaning no law and people are running around with guns and looting? Well, if that's the case, cash isn't going to help us, right? But a roof over our heads is going to help us. Now, I don't personally think that that's where our community is going, but think about where you think our country is going to be in 6 months, and then let's make a decision based on that, or a year, right? And no matter how bad or how good you think things are going to go, it's going to be uncomfortable. We're going to not be allowed to do some of the things that we want to do. Our money's going to be tight. We're going to have to cut out some spending. Good thing is there's not much to spend it on, so that might work out well. But our price is tanking. So if I'm a seller, the only reasons right now that I probably would not list my home is I am immune compromised. and I'm very afraid of having strangers come into my home. Fair and valid. We push your listing off, right? We wait on that. Or we remove ourselves from the home entirely and list it and sell it if you have to sell your home for some reason. So we'll find a solution to that if you absolutely have to sell your home in this market. But don't be afraid of the buyers, because they are not yet afraid to buy. It's still happening. Our sellers panicking, right? We just talked about that. Our price is taking our sellers panicking. The only sellers that I see that are really panicking, I mean, everyone is nervous. Everyone is uncertain. But the only ones that are really panicking are the ones who are very afraid of this disease coming into their home. And so we'll identify that solution. Should I terminate my offer or freeze buying? Like, should I even buy right now? So no. So if you're purchasing a home for a 30-year investment, you just locked in rates at historical lows. So for 30 years, you're getting the cheapest money that you can possibly get. And to stockpile cash, like not just sit on your cash and wait and see what happens. Well, the alternative is when we do that, we hunker down for a year and stay where we're at. We stay renting or we stay in the home that we're at. And then this market heals, and then rates go up 2%. And then that same house that you wanted to buy is going to cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars more over the long term of 30 years. So long as you can physically pack your house up and move it, so long as moving companies are going to be able to do that, we're going to find solutions to everything else. So let's just take what our needs are and evaluate that on a step-by-step basis, and let's not freeze our everyday activities, right? Let's just apply social distancing models to what it is that we need to accomplish. And freezing in fear and panic is not going to accomplish anything for anybody. Our tenants panicking. So a lot of my clients are investors now. I own quite a bit of real estate, and this is my first round of clients who have panicked and come to me like, oh my God, what's my tenant do? Let me offer them discounts now. How do we get in front of this? So I love the how do we get in front of this. So here's my answer about my tenants. And again, everything comes from relationship building, right? So we have relationships with our tenants because we've worked with them day in and day out. We're humans. Kindness wins. Kindness wins. So as of March 15th, everyone had paid their March rent. So for right now, everybody's fine. When April 1st comes, are there going to be some late pays and some defaults? Probably. Possibly. I have not had a single tenant come to me in fear and panic. I don't know how I'm going to pay my rent. So my suspicion is April we're going to be fine. 98% of the tenants are going to pay in full and on time. In fact, we're going to be their very first payment, because having a roof over your head is the most important thing right now. And the alternative to moving is they would have to move in with family or someone else that they know. They would not want to be stockpiling the cash for a security deposit and a lease. And we are out there showing rental properties still. I rented one out to tenants yesterday, and their comment to me was, I'm so glad you showed up today. I had 6 appointments, 4 of them canceled, the other 2 were you. So, I mean, now is a great time to get great tenants, right? These are strong people that have enough money in the bank and enough faith in their employment that they're ready to go move. It's awesome. It's awesome. Let's go find these people. Let's go find these opportunities. Let's match them and marry them together with landlords who are smart landlords, right? They put money in the reserve accounts like we talked about in the event something happens, in the event the furnace goes out, right? This is the same thing as all of your furnaces oddly going out at the same time. This is the same thing as the 2008 hurricane as a landlord that blew through and you've got to put 19 roofs on your 32 houses. It's uncomfortable, and we're going to get through it. And when we're done with it, we're going to have 18 new roofs. Like, it's an uncomfortable process, but we'll get through it. And the same thing applies. The exact same thing applies here. So tenants are not panicking right now. No one has defaulted yet. Everyone's paid their March rent. We're going to see what happens in April. And more importantly than offering rent reductions, we're focused on solutions, right? here is the information you need in order to, if you work for an industry that is laid off and not being paid due to coronavirus issues, here is the Ohio unemployment link. A friend of mine's son works for a restaurant and filled it out last night and was already approved. So I do think that our community is on it for giving assistance, and we're going to be identifying all the various assistances that people need. Our home buyers, our home sellers, our tenants. We are researching all of the government mandates, all of the opportunities out there, and we're going to connect our clients with the aid that's out there. More importantly than that is we're stockpiling side jobs. Now is the time. Any home that I need landscaped, mulched, cleaned, gutters cleaned, you name it, painted. Now's the time for projects to get done. I have a number of cash heavy friends who have a lot of projects that need to be done. So if we're out of work and we're hurting and we've got nothing but time on our hands and we can go clean up, chop wood and stack firewood. We've got 3 days worth of firewood chopping and stacking at properties. We've taken trees down over the winter that we just hadn't gotten around to cleaning up, and you name it, I have opportunities everywhere. You don't have to be like a plumber or electrician to do side jobs. You just have to hustle, right? You have to hustle. So if you're willing to hustle, we're willing to pay you. And I think that's going to be a really nice marriage in these next 3 months of keeping everybody going, right? Pride in themselves, pride in work, getting out in a safe manner, and getting things done. So I don't, yes, are there going to be defaults? Probably. Are we just going to evict everybody and do turnovers? No, we're going to find solutions. We're going to figure out ways for tenants to have the money they need to pay the landlords who need that to pay their mortgages. And it's all going to come together, and it may require some creative thinking, and it may require some patience, and it will require kindness. And so long as we maintain dialogue and discuss specifically your problem and specifically your skill set to solve it, and then we put those things together and we assist that, we are all going to come out of this winners, right? We're all going to come out of this stronger and better. So that's what we're doing. How long will this last, and how bad is it going to get? I don't know. But worrying about that right now, it does not solve today's problems. I don't know how long it's going to last, and I don't know how bad it's going to get, so I'm not going to make projections in that manner. I'm going to stay focused on what is going right today, and I'm going to build on those things. And I really hope everybody joins me in that. Let's build on what is good right now. And then lastly, I get well, what are you going to do? What would you do? What would you do if you're me? So here's what I'm doing. I see all kinds of opportunity right now. I see, so I have maximized my cash outlay, and I am prepared to solve people's problems by buying the real estate that is too burdensome for people. Today, cash has a very big discount, right? I'm seeing sellers, my buyers are losing in multiple offer scenarios because they have a financing contingency. Everything else is clean, and they're writing $5,000 and $6,000 and $10,000 and $15,000 more than other offers. And sellers are taking the cash deal right now because it's a guaranteed thing, and sellers are scared. Those sellers are scared. They don't have me as their agent counseling them to try to breathe and think we're going to get through this. And whatever, that's fine. That's their fear, and they're choosing $15,000 lower offers because it's cash. So I'm prepared to give them security, right? I'm going to give you guys some security, and you can move on with the things that you need to do in your life, and I will take this piece of property, and I will also then hire some friends or hire some tenants who are in need of cash to come over here and paint it for me and clean it for me and make it look nice for me. And then I'm going to take a tenant who doesn't like his landlord or was already ready to move in April and May, which is the biggest moving season for tenants, period. And I'm going to give them a really beautiful house at a really fair price. And then they're going to move in there for a year, and they're going to pay their rent, and they're going to love it. And everyone's going to remember that time when we all stayed calm amidst adversity, and we all continued to do good things, and we all were stronger and better for it at the end. So that's kind of my little diatribe on where we're at and how I'm responding to this crisis. And I'm really hopeful that you guys are ready and willing and able to share your strengths back with me, back with our community, with my children, with your children, with our parents and our grandparents, and our tenants or our landlords or our whomever it is, our colleagues, whoever we're working with, right? Keep a sensible mind. Wash your hands 15 times a day. If you're not feeling well, stay home, okay? And if you're feeling great, then you can continue to work as long as you're adhering to all the laws and the social distancing practices. Then I think we're gonna get through this. There's gonna be a light at the end of the tunnel, and if we are kind to each other and seek to help each other, we'll all win. So thanks for listening. Oh, and so for those of you who attend our Building Wealth Through Investment seminars, of course we're going coronavirus friendly on Thursday, so obviously no public gathering meeting, but we are going to do either a Facebook Live format or some sort of recorded format where you guys can watch and hopefully chime in with questions. And it was supposed to be with our great friend Dave Whitmer, who's a tax accountant and genius in regards to how real estate has tax advantages, but since the IRS is delaying 90 days, I think we're going to push Dave back and really kind of focus on what is it like to build wealth through real estate, and to own real estate through crisis. And I love it. I love this opportunity because I've gotten this question so many times back this last year when everything was just cranking good, and I would answer it based on what I did in 2008 and what I did through those ensuing years. And I just, here we are. So here we are. All right. So anyway, so that'll be Thursday, 6 p.m. And as soon as I figure out the technology of how to get this, to get in front of everybody's faces better, I'll tell you how to find us. Thanks.